Hello, guys. It's me again. And give it a minute for some people to get in here. Hello, the Michael Malley Show. How are you today? I see a bunch of people coming in already. Just to let you know now, guys, it is kind of clickbait. I just want you guys to know that I received that text. One of two things happened. Either one of my trolls is very devoted, which is what I'm leaning towards. One of the trolls that has my phone number um, sent me that text, or somehow or another, personal information is being released from the jail. Um, I don't know which. Um, but after making, you can see the text in the. It's a picture of the text, but I received a text stating that the Elkhart County Jail has confirmed cases in staff and inmates of the virus, and that due to my exposure in the jail, I needed to go be tested and blah blah blah. Well, yeah, immediately I kind of panicked and started making phone calls. I contacted the Elkhart emergency room because I was in the hospital after I got out of jail to find out if had been tested. They could not give me any information over the phone, obviously. I made some other calls, including the CDC and whatnot, and their recommendation was to first call the jail and find out, which, duh, I should have done that. I should have thought of that, but I did contact the jail, and the text I received was a fake. It was a hoax. When I contacted the jail, they confirmed they have had 0 cases in staff or inmates of the virus. So, like I said, one of two things: either somehow somebody is getting people's personal information from the jail, which I know the records are public, but personal telephone numbers should not be, or one of my trolls is very devoted. So sorry to clickbait you guys, but it seemed like fun. How's everybody holding up? That's good, Michael Malley. Yeah, freedom to film. That's what I'm leaning towards too. I can't see the jail releasing. I can see them giving out, um, public information, what I was in jail for and whatnot. But um, in the odd coincidence, oh yeah, here it comes. Yeah, that's one of my trolls. It says L. I just got a text saying "LOL, gotcha" from the same number that sent me that text. And no, you really didn't. I mean, for a couple of seconds you got me, but yeah, no, not really. So yes, guys, it is one of my devoted little trolls that has my phone number. Matter of fact, well, I'd give you guys the phone number, but it's not going to do any good because I tried calling it. And let me look here. I'll give it to you anyway. It is 1-317-785-0504 is the number I got that from. So if you guys, any of you guys know how to play with them, be my guest. Right, Chris, I agree there, but you know, like I said, I made several phone calls just to ensure. Um, but they all said they're not doing any testing now because of shortage of tests and quarantines and stuff like that at the hospitals and whatnot. The only way they're doing testing is if it's recommended by a personal health care provider and whatnot. Um, and I don't have one of those. And you know, we went around with them for a minute, and then we contacted the jail, and the jail said no, absolutely not. So yeah, well, and now my troll just confirmed by texting me, ha ha ha, gotcha, that he was playing, and I kind of thought that because the text came in within a couple of minutes of me shutting down the last live stream. That we were talking about it, so I kind of had a feeling, but it never hurts to double check, you know. Yeah, freedom to film. Um, I, I thought about it, and it's just not worth it. I mean, this individual got my phone number and wants to continue doing this. That's fine with me. If it comes about that if it comes about that the it goes too far and the person uh, has any harassment or charges coming against them, I'm sure there's people that can find out where all these texts and prank calls are coming from. So I'm not worried about changing my number. He doesn't really. I could freedom to film. I could do a lot of, but see, I get a lot of with my other things that I do. I get a lot of calls and texts that are come from private numbers or whatnot. I mean, I make him change his phone number when he uses like this one. The number that he's using now, I'll block that and make him make up a new one. So I keep him working a little bit. But when it comes through as private or unlisted or something, there's really nothing I can do about those. But when he uses the text phone numbers from the computer, I probably made him go through about, I don't know, 15, 20 different phone numbers.
You're buffering.
Is it?
Yeah.
Are you sure it's,
It stopped.
oh, okay. Kim said I was buffering for a second there, guys. But yeah, I mean, when he uses an actual phone number, I block the phone number so he can't use it twice. I make him do a little work and make a new phone number. Um, Other than that, doesn't really hurt anything. Apparently, he's afraid to let me hear his voice because he calls a lot and then hangs up as soon as I answer when I try to talk to him. So he's either shy or something, you know. I'll be right back, guys. I'm gonna make a cigarette.
Dispatch 981 units, 10-4.
I'm back. Yeah, I wasn't sure whether it was somebody was getting information from the jail. Somehow or another, the jail was releasing personal information, and a lot of people that had been in jail were getting that. Or if it was, like I said, one of my trolls. And the more I thought about it, especially after I just did a video talking about that unmentioned thing, we started thinking that it would have been one of my trolls, and now he's confirmed it. So it's a fake pizza cutter, spatula, butter knife. There's a whisk somewhere too. We got a cheese grater, pizza cutter. They're just refrigerator decorative magnets. And then there's a butter knife. There's a whisk somewhere too, but I don't know where that went. The cat has a bad habit of grabbing those when they're down by the bottom and playing with them. So we misplace them quite often. M. Starwell, tell Nathaniel we said hello. Hey Redneck, how's it going, buddy? Just to give anybody that's just joining a quick update, that was a text I received from one of my trolls. Just playing games, you know how they roll. I'm doing good, Redneck. I'm still getting the dizzy spells a little bit and the headaches. Waiting for the insurance to go through so I can get to a primary care physician and get the rest of the testing and whatnot and figure out how we can keep the migraines under control. But working, living life, you know. Hey, Sam Reports, how are you? Yes, Trump, we're good. That was a little bit of clickbait, buddy. Sorry about that. I got a text that said, well, you saw the text in the thumbnail, and I made some phone calls and found out that it was a scam text and whatnot. So I figured I'd come on here and play a little bit, you know. But yeah, I have received a text from my troll letting, you know, he says, ha ha ha, gotcha. Well, kinda, but not. So here, let me give you that number again. And as soon as I get done here, I'll block this one, so he'll have to make another one. I've blocked probably 20 of his phone numbers, but 1-317-785-0504 is the number that's coming from. So if anybody knows how to track that down and play. Trump said I drink probably 2 12-ounce bottles a day. On the work days, you know, when I'm out working, I drink 2 12-ounce bottles, and then I drink a couple of sodas, and then my half a pot of coffee in the morning. But as far as just straight water, probably 2 12-ounce bottles a day during normal work weeks. Because, you know, especially when it's been cold out there and we're out there working, and, you know, you lose moisture through your breath and stuff. Like today, I don't think I've drank any just regular water. It's all been coffee and soda, but drinking my coffee now. But yeah, again, guys, just so everybody knows, that was clickbait. It was a text I received from one of my trolls that knew I was in jail and had my phone number. I am fine. Kim's fine. I do have the migraines still. We're working on getting insurance so that I can get into a primary care physician and see about getting those under control. But other than that, everybody's good. Oh, I'll be right back, guys. I got to get a refill on my coffee. Found the bottom of the cup. Seems like I've heard that coffee actually dehydrates you. I'm not sure how true that is, but I think I've heard that coffee will actually dehydrate you. Oh, damn, Brian. Sorry about that, buddy. Yes, Trump, more coffee. I love my coffee. People would not want, without my coffee, it would be very difficult getting through my day. Oh, in any form? Well, that sucks. So that means the soda and the coffee that I drink all work against me. Oh yeah, Michael, I'm fine. Again, that was just kind of a clickbait type thing, playing up to my trolls. They did, after I got out of jail, I had some health concerns and I was in the hospital for a couple of days. Hey, AK Twin Mommy. Again, I'm just goofing around. One of my trolls sent me a text saying that I had been exposed to while I was in jail, so I thought I'd play to him. Everybody's good, AK. I tried calling you earlier just to let you know I was going to do this, but you weren't home, so everybody's good. We're all good. But yeah, I had some almost debilitating headaches just after I got out of jail, and I was in the hospital for a couple of days. I still get the headaches a little bit, but we've got that pretty much under control. They found a, oh, you guys aren't going to believe this, but on the CAT or the MRI, there's some abnormalities in my brain. Go figure, right? They weren't sure if it was infection or something else, and they've got to do some more testing, and we've got to get the insurance thing taken care of before they can continue with the testing. So that's why we're kind of on hold with that. But it's nothing major. It's nothing real serious. Just something that causes a little bit of headaches. I'm good. But yes, everybody, I am good. The virus thing was playing up to one of my trolls that sends me messages. He sent me a message saying that after being that the Elkhart County Jail was in quarantine because staff and inmates had tested positive and blah blah blah. So after we made a few phone calls and confirmed that was untrue, I decided to play to him a little bit, but I didn't want to spook you guys, so I gave it up right away. Yeah, if anybody knows how to do any tricky stuff with the IP addresses or something, I gave the phone number a couple of times. What's funny, and I wish I would have saved it, but it got deleted. But this dumbass actually at one point put me in, used a number that was in a family chat, and I was getting text messages from somebody that said, I don't know why my uncle, this is a family chat room, I don't know why my uncle put you in this room. That was kind of funny. So that's what it ends up doing when I keep blocking different numbers and whatnot. hold on, let me look at the, yeah, Brian, that's possible. Well, they wanted to do I can't remember what they call that, but they wanted to get fluid out of my spine to test it, and they collapsed several of my veins trying to put in IVs. They couldn't seem to get the IVs in properly, so I was very nervous about having that done at that time. So spinal tap, yeah, but yeah, I wasn't willing to do that at the time. So I'm, like I said, I'm working on getting insurance now so that I can get into yeah, they actually had two of them that did them. They tried, as a matter of fact, you can still see a little bit of the discoloration on the back of my hands where they tried to do it. They tried to do one in my left arm. You can still see a little bit of, well, no, you really can't on the camera. The one that was working was one in my right arm. Let me see if I can get it over there. And you can still see, they had a physical therapist come in and try to get me to walk around to see why I was getting so dizzy, and they wanted to check my blood pressure and stuff while they were doing it. And I kind of stumbled a little bit, and dude grabbed a hold of me, and he grabbed the IV line that was in my right arm and kind of yanked it and broke the needle. So I still actually have the, they didn't realize it at the time. They thought it was just a tape that pulled off, and they tried to give me meds again. And instead of going into the vein, it went under my skin. So she who talks to the wind. Yeah. And like I said, even, the last couple of weeks, I still get the headaches from time to time, but it's a lot better than it originally was. Again, sorry to clickbait you guys, but I just had to play a little bit, and I let you know as soon as I see you come in. I got to admit though, it did spook me just a little bit when I first got it. When I first got the text, I was like, oh shit. And then after I started thinking about it really on a Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock, an hour after I did a live stream about it, but I made the phone calls and checked into it just to be on the safe side. And yeah, it was one of my trolls.
I'll
This
talk
is
to you about the idea I've got.
this is the same one that posted my phone number in a suicide hotline chat and had people contacting me because he was telling him I was going to commit suicide. He was telling him it was me and that he felt like committing suicide. So I had people from a hotline suicide chat network calling me for a couple of days. That was fun. Met some really nice people though. What's ASA 85 milligram? Ah, okay. Why didn't you just say that in the first place? Actually, my blood. Oh, are you talking to she who talks to the? She who talks. Are you talking to me or someone else? Because actually, that's the one thing I did find out while I was in the hospital and during all the testing is my blood pressure is pretty much always, even when I was having the the dizzy spells and the headaches and whatnot, my blood pressure was great for a majority of it. You know, it would yo-yo just a little bit depending, but that can come with being upset or being hurt and stuff like that. But my blood pressure is, all the readings they took were in very good ranges. Oh God, Brian. Well, thank you, M-Star. You also. Um, you know, I hate to. I know people have to get out, people have to do things, people have to live lives, but at this point, people need to be careful. Um, you know, the self-isolation thing, I mean, yeah, yes and no. But, you know, when you do have to go out, when you do have to go shopping or stuff like that, I mean, just be cautious. Use hand sanitizer. Um, don't get right up next to people, you know, social distancing, I guess they call it. Just use some common sense. Um, and we can probably get through this without exactly. She who talks, exactly. I guess in Indiana they put out the basically the stay-at-home order, and I guess they figured nobody was listening to it because they upgraded it yesterday. Somehow or another, they're upset that people basically aren't paying attention to it. You know, me and Kim, we don't go out running around and all kinds of stuff. We've gone to the store when we need to, and I go back and forth to work, but um, you know, I work on a farm, so we can't shut down. Um,
Professional 81.
you know, we're cautious. We use hand sanitizer and whatnot. And we're mainly outside, and there's only a handful of us that work there, so it's not like we're in a factory around hundreds of people touching the same parts and all that stuff. So I'm not that concerned about it. My biggest concern is the financial disaster this is going to cause in the U.S. for probably a long time to come. I mean, the disease itself is going to dwindle out and go away, and they'll cure it and whatnot. But I think the financial impact that it's having is going to take quite some time. Hey, Mouse, how's it going, buddy? Anybody new just coming in, it was clickbait. I got a text from one of my trolls saying that I had been exposed in jail and that the jail was on quarantine and stuff. I made a few phone calls and checked it out, and it is not true. They are all, you know, there's been 0 cases detected at the Elkhart County Jail. They are not on quarantine. They are restricting certain visitations and stuff like that, you know, taking precautions. But sorry guys, trying to scroll through some of the chat. My phone acts funny. It doesn't scroll half the time on its own, and then when I realize it's not scrolling, I flip it up and I zip through half of them. Want to look at a map of Elkhart for a minute? There it is. Let me see if I can find us. That's actually a lot of. Let's see. That's Jefferson, Middlebury, Clinton, Benton, Elkhart. A lot of different. We are somewhere in this vicinity, I believe. Somewhere right around in here. We gotta clean this fish tank, guys. It's icky. Got some algae growing in there.
You're buffering again. Now you're good.
I don't know if you guys just saw the fish tank, but I gotta get that cleaned. I took all the decoration stuff out of it and cleaned all that. I gotta clean the tank and change the water and stuff. I don't know why. I mean, all the fish that are in there were originally bait for fishing, and I'd have some left over when I got home, and I just put them in the fish tank, and now I got a bunch of goldfish and a bunch of little tiny minnows. I don't know if you guys can see the minnows or not. Oh yeah, well, sort of. Trump, originally we had algae eaters and other types of fish in there, but we had it for a few years and they died off and stuff, and it was empty, and I just had spare bait, and I decided to put them in there, and they've been in there for a while. I'm kind of thinking what I want to do is get it all cleaned up and stuff, and I want to put some wild fish in there. I want to put like maybe crappie or some catfish or a garpike or something like that in there. Yeah, Shiyu talks. That definitely would help. I need to change the charcoal filter thing, and just like I said, I haven't been too concerned with it lately because they're bait fish, so I don't. But this summer, some of the fish that I catch, like I want a crappie or two. I'd love to put a garpike in there because they're so cool looking, but I don't know if that tank's big enough for the average size one we catch. I don't know. Most of the wild fish I catch, I cut into little bite-sized pieces and eat, though, Trump. So, I mean, they're better off going in the fish tank than they are in the frying pan. Yeah, I know, Brian. They're different species. It's just that's just a name that's used for them a lot. Gar are actually very, very good. The problem with them is they have a lot of bones, and basically an armor-plated skin. You can't just fillet them like you would a normal fish. You actually have to use heavy duty cutters to get through their skin. And then by the time you're done cutting the meat out, the boneless meat out, you got to get a pretty decent sized fish to actually get a usable amount of meat out of. So I don't mess with them too much, but they do have a very good tasting meat. That's okay, Brian. Trump. Snakefish. Oh, you mean like snakehead? That's the only snakefish I know of is like a snakehead, and I don't know whether you're allowed to own those in Indiana or not. I wouldn't think so. I wouldn't think you'd be allowed to have live ones because that's how they got populated in a lot of different places. Was people were letting go their live ones when they got too big. Yeah, She Who Talks. We do get northern pike. We don't get real big ones. We've got some muskie as well. The places I fish, which is mainly the river. Oh, perch? No, no perch.
I wish.
Yeah, snakehead are very vicious fish. They would be cool to have and watch and stuff, but I don't know that you're legally allowed to own live ones. I know a lot of places you can catch them, and from what I understand, they're good to eat, but you can't be found in possession of live ones. Okay, yeah, Brian, that's what I thought, that you can't have live ones anywhere. Mark Miller, I don't know if you just joined or not, but that was kind of a clickbait title. One of my trolls that has my phone number sent me a text that said this is the okay, yeah, one of my trolls that has my phone number sent me a text that claiming to be the with the CDC or the Indiana Medical something or another, and claimed that the Elkhart County Jail had been quarantined because staff and inmates were found to have it, and that I had to be tested because I was exposed because I was in jail and blah blah blah. But we proved it to be I made some phone calls and checked it out and knew it was a hoax before I started the video, but I just clickbaited you guys a little bit and put the title like that. Sorry about that. But the troll did actually text me while I was on in the beginning of this video. Text me and said, "Ha ha ha, gotcha." But yeah, I know the silver. Which one are the Eurasian carp, Brian? The only carp I knew about was Eurasian carp that they're trying to stop from getting into the Great Lakes. Those jumping carp that are injuring people. Yeah, again, sorry, Mark. It was I was just playing along with a hoax that was being played on me. I didn't mean to scare anybody. We are fine. We're good to go. Okay, silver is the Asian. Oh, so which one is it that's they're having the big problem with now in a lot of places that are? Yeah, Mark. And again, I think there's a lot of people that have it that don't even know. I mean, healthy people, from what I understand, it doesn't affect that badly. Um, so people can have it and not even really realize it. But then if they go around people that are um, vulnerable to it, that's when it becomes a bigger problem. What it? Yeah, She Who Talks. We're talking about those fish that you see on videos that are when a boat goes by, they're all jumping out of the water and whacking people in the head and stuff. That's the carp we're talking about. Oh wow, Mark.
Our troll must have got bored.
Yeah, he doesn't have much of an attention span.
Affirmative. Okay, 12 was convenient.
Must be running out of algae. Don't they? They're like vegetarians, aren't they? Don't they just eat? They don't eat like other fish and stuff. They just eat all the plankton and that type of stuff, from what I understand. Oh wow, as long ago as February. Yeah, we are. Oh, where's my pen? Oh, that's weird. There it is. Holy cow. We're right around in there somewhere, I think. It's Elkhart County in the yellow right there. Okay, yeah, I had heard. I didn't know they would eat crayfish and stuff like that. That makes sense, but I had heard they were mainly like plankton feeders or something. Um, Come to think about it, I really haven't heard any. I know for a while there last year there was a big panic about them and stuff. I haven't heard any updates on what they're doing to prevent them getting into the Great Lakes, or if they've gotten in the Great Lakes, or what. But okay, Brian. You know, and people can do a lot of different things with a lot of different. I don't know exactly how to say this, but okay, like me and Kim used to fish salmon in the rivers um, all the time up in northern Michigan when we still lived up there. And it was funny because we'd have people, we'd be standing on the bridge catching salmon, and people would come by and say, "Oh, those salmon are trying to go up and spawn. You're catching them all. You're gonna kill them. In a few years there'll be none left." And blah 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 blah. Protesting us fishing for them. And it's like, okay, well, here's your problem. For one, there's a stocking program that the eggs are removed from a lot of fish, and they're hatched and sent around and stuff. And for two, there were no salmon in the Great Lakes before the 1950s. So technically, salmon in the Great Lakes are an introduced species, which is also classified as an invasive species. There were no salmon in the Great Lakes before the 1950s. The salmon were planted in the Great Lakes by one sportsman and two the homeowners around the beaches and stuff. There's a fish called an alewife. It's a little tiny fish. anywhere from 2 or 3 up to 5 or 6 inches long. And there were just millions of them. And in the spring, they would come in and spawn, and a lot of them would die. And my grandpa would tell me stories about them taking bulldozers and piling them up and taking dump truck loads of them off the beaches and stuff up in the Arcadia and Manistee, Frankfurt, all those areas in Lake Michigan. Literally bulldozer or dump truck loads of the dead fish so that they didn't rot and stink everything up and stuff. And that's part of the reason why salmon were brought in, is to help control those. And what would crack me up is when, people would stop where we were fishing, because there'd be 20 guys down there catching salmon that were coming up into spawn, and people would get out with their protest signs and say, "Oh, you're killing them off. There's gonna be none left if you guys don't leave them alone," and blah blah blah. And then you tell them, "Hey, well, do your research. The fishermen and the homeowners are the only reason that there are salmon in the Great Lakes in the first place." And they'd either call you a liar or shut up and turn around and run away real fast. But it was kind of funny. Introduced or well, technically, Brian, I mean, like the snakehead, those are classified as an invasive, but those are also an introduced species in southern states and stuff. They weren't they were intentionally introduced by people that released them, or so it was an intentional thing that they were released into the waters, but it wasn't a legal activity. Whereas the salmon, it was done by the book and everything, so to speak. But yeah, I just used invasive as a term because, we put them there. If we catch them all and eat them, we can put them there again. Lake Ontario. I didn't know snakeheads were in Lake Ontario. Huh. All right, M-Star, you stay safe.
Bye,
Thank you
Star.
for joining. Kim says bye. You too, Michael. Thanks for joining. Yeah, I understood what you meant. You have a great day. I'm going to be shutting this down in a couple minutes. I got to work on making dinner. Going to have some spaghetti, I think. Wow, I didn't know the snakeheads were there as well. I'll be right back. I'm going to have one more cigarette with you guys, and then I'm going to shut this down and start working on dinner. I'll be right back.
I got a plan. I'll tell you after your live stream.
Oh, let's see here. Those are the 3 species I know of. Are there any other species of snakehead? I know about those 3, but is there any other varieties or species of them? Holy crap. That I didn't know. I thought there was only like a handful of them. That's crazy. Looks like Jess Braden just went live, guys. He's somebody I support. I was introduced to recently. He's a good guy. He's got some health issues and stuff. I think I'm gonna jump over there and say hello to him. I wish I knew how to post a link in here. I'd put it in here, and maybe some of you guys could go over there too. But it's his channel name is Just Space Braden, Bradon. So if anybody can jump over there and just say hello. He's a fun guy. He's got some stuff going on. He could definitely use some support. Well, jump over there and check him out, and you'll see what I mean. I don't know a whole lot about him right at the moment, but he's a real good guy. His channel name is Just Just space Braden, Bradon. I've only been on his live streams a couple of times, but I'm going to go ahead and shut this down and jump over there. So anybody that's still in here, if you got a couple more minutes to spare, jump over there and say hello and give him some support would be appreciated. I'll see some of you there, I hope. You all have a great day and stay safe. Appreciate you for joining me.